Sexual currents in this body are created in your umshadi siddhatam, in your private parts. The umshadi siddhatam is the energetic gateway between the middle domains, Edons, Eden, the Garden of Eden, and the outer domains, this body form. So your energetic entry point is literally through your private parts, energetically as well as physically. When you enter through that template, you pick up the coding of that template. Now, right now, that template, that umshadi template, has an overlay on top of it. It has a coat of cheap paint on top of it. And unless you bust that baby off, you are going to produce frequencies, currents, sparks that are based on consumption, based on finite life. They have consciousness. Everything in this cosmos is conscious and sentient, including your electromagnetic sparks, including your frequencies, including your elementals, including your atoms. They have a certain form of consciousness. When you keep producing the same energy, the same consciousness, you saturate your body with a specific type of atoms, with a specific type of consciousness. Now, if that consciousness believes that they have to consume something that's familiar, then you are going to be attracted to that thing. You are literally, attraction and urges, sexual urges, being horny is on a cellular level. It's an elemental urge for transmutation, transformation. When two comes together, they create something that a third entity, a third form of being that encapsulates both of those, but at the same time is an expanded sense of consciousness. It exists on a cellular level as well. You can have that expanded consciousness in your atoms, and your atoms crave that. Now, if you have I'm going to use numbers. If you would have I only have five fingers, not natural. If you have a template that wants to braid with another template, when those two are in communication, when you meet someone, when you see someone, hear someone, when you hear a piece of music that just really gels with you, when you smell food that you just really crave, when you see a person that looks really fucking hot, some level of your consciousness senses that you have matching templates. Now, it doesn't have to be that you are the same person or that they are the same beings, but they harmonize with each other. Their frequencies do not cancel each other out. They amplify each other. They create an elevated sense of consciousness. Now, when you're working with a full template, when you're working with your full hedonic sexual keys, you would be attracted to sexual partners who are elevating your consciousness towards more eternal life creation system. When you're only working with, I'm gonna try to use a system that's not a fucking satanic sign. Satanic. When you're dealing with a template, when you're creating keys that are already mutated, and you try to squish it with a fucking other template that just does not want to match, then you're creating partnerships that do not feel good, that will have very tumultuous fights. And you just don't understand why you're fighting with each other. Maybe because on a sexual level, there is something that your elementals are craving, maybe because they have the same mutation, the same deformed consciousness. But on other levels, you are very disharmonic with each other. You're clashing. And that's what porn does to us, that it normalizes that sex is painful, that sex is very impersonal. It's a show, it's theater, and it's very bad theater. I have not seen a good porn actor or actress who can actually act and emote. Now, there's beautiful erotic art out there. I found some really good stuff because, I'm a very sexually excitable person. So I enjoy looking at the body. Everything about the human body is sexy to me. So I was I'm like, okay, there must be something good out there. So there is very beautiful erotic art out there. But porn itself conditions your body to produce certain chemicals, certain emotional states, certain thought forms. And those thought forms are literally encrypting your body what kind of building blocks to build. If you keep building building blocks that will only match with broken building blocks, if you keep saturating your body with broken bits and pieces, with messages such as sex is painful, or that I have a very vulgar sense of humor, and I have a very, I do say things that shock people, so I'm gonna curb it. But if you start emotionally, mentally, verbally, visibly conditioning yourself that certain acts, certain sexual acts are okay, normal, or even desirable, you produce more of it. The parts of you who are still connected to source, they are completely non-judgmentally keep producing whatever you tell them to produce. If you say that I want to have sex like that, you are going to produce keys, harmonic keys in your body, or kilonas, because we haven't even gotten to harmonic key level. You're going to produce sparks in your body that would crave that behavior, crave that food, crave that partner, because you told your body by engaging with those energy, engaging with those storylines, engaging with those positions, engaging with that frequency, with that emotion, you are telling your body that I want more of that. When two people are singing in two different keys, if those keys are harmonic keys, if they are harmonically, if they sound good, if they feel good, they can still sing in two keys and they can harmonize with each other. The problems start when those are disharmonic keys all of a sudden. So not everything and everybody has to be the same. Not all music has to be the same. We can still have diversity and variety. You don't just have one ideal partner that you should have sex with. You can have sex with more than one person. You have more than one compatible partners. But there are certain people, there are certain frequencies that are disharmonic and create cacophony. It's all based on when frequency waves. So when wave forms meet each other, they can either amplify each other or cancel each other out. When they cancel each other out, you create gaps in a harmonic sequence. Those gaps literally allow other forms to come in and infiltrate. Now that you know, now you have an expanded sense of free will. Before, we were told that those guys are only incrementally better than our level of consciousness right now. From where we were looking, they looked like gods. They looked like somebody you should follow, worship, give your energy to, give your attention to, talk about, dream about, communicate with. More energy. Now that you know better, you have the choice. If you connect to source, you don't need any of those vices. You don't need any of your addictive behaviors. Living fucking example. Before I made my commitment that I'm only going to connect to the one pure source, nothing else, no other entity, no other being. I'm not going to be obsessed about a partner. I'm not going to be obsessed about food. I'm not going to believe that I need anybody or anything else in my life. And it's a process. I have 20-something years of indoctrination of I need things. It is really a process to start rewriting my internal narrative, my internal need. But then when I made the commitment that, you know what, that love that I get from Source, that consciousness that I get from Source, that purity, innocence that I get from Source is enabling me to not just step beyond my own need. It also allows me to give and keep giving. Because I don't channel, never did, never will. I don't give anybody else's energy. I become that energy. And I don't give you energy. I don't transmit energy. I'm not fucking healing you distant. I am. And it generates more power than what I ever need. So you can remember your own power and you can start generating your own power based on my memory, your memory of who we really are. That's what communication is about. That's what a free will system looks like. We don't consume, we don't take. It's not that I have more, so I give more, so you can have mine. I am, which reminds me of who I really am, which reminds you of who you really are, so we can both be together in Source, with Source, as Source. Fucking gods. So, I am not judging. I don't condemn. Whatever you do it. And I am no fucking angel. You've seen it before. On the level I am, but you know what I mean. I've done my fair share of dumb fuckery. And I'm still learning. I'm still cleansing massive, massive cellular memory. So if you do still want to watch, if you do still want to engage, if you still feel urges, it's a sign that you have frequencies within you that believe that what you are engaging with, what you're watching, what you're eating is your next evolutionary step. Whatever you feel attracted to, that on some level, that frequency, that energy translates as evolution. Now, you can take incremental steps and you can take a little bit of evolution. You can cut this out of your diet and cut that out of your playlist and or if you want to, you can go full on. It's not easy. So unless you want to, unless you feel ready to, I'm doing the incremental stuff. I wouldn't be able to just fast for 10 days and completely leave food when I'm living in a city that just constantly agitates me. We are in very dire circumstances. It started a very long time ago, but we have come here because we've done this before. We are not the recycled ones. We're the ones who came in because on some level, we carry codes that when we spark each other, when we communicate with each other, we can create certain levels of consciousness that hasn't existed on this planet for a very, very long time. We've come here specifically to this time space because we have a mission here. We have a job to do here. First step of that job is to sort your shit out, clean your energy field up. But then when we come together, that's when the fun starts.